Okay, today we are going to be kibitzing a game between a grandmaster and a FIDE master. Now, before anyone goes accusing me of copying Chess Network with this kibitzing series, I would like you to know that you are right. Okay, so starting with something Indian. That looks like a nice drop right away to me. Wow, okay. Not getting off start. But it happens, so now we can watch the rematch. Okay, so we've got some sort of French, or a French transposed into something else. No, it's not a bad pre-move like that guy is saying, it's a real opening. I've had it played against me several times when I play the French, but now I can see what a Grandmaster will do against it, and everything will be wonderful. Okay, so the FIDE master is trying to fianchetto both bishops. Meanwhile, black just tries to keep a grip on d4. He might possibly, probably not. I was going to say he might try and go for something along the lines of knight b4 eventually, but for now I don't think it's that great. Something that he might have to watch out for is that there's nothing defending that knight on d5, and it's on the same diagonal as that light-squared bishop, and on the same diagonal as his king. So he'll want to make sure that he doesn't lose that knight with check. So if the pawn is pushed forward, bishop f7 is probably forced so that he doesn't run into something like knight takes e5. I'm not 100% sure how I feel about that move, since, yeah, see, it just forces the bishop back, and now that knight is covered. Okay, so now he's removing the knight from d5 entirely, I suppose. Occupying d4 and attacking that knight, so he's trying to get white to either give up his light-squared bishop to push g4 or to get a dark-squared bishop. White has chosen pushing g4 as the lesser of the evils. And if we just take a moment to look at the clocks, we can see that black should have a fairly easy time of winning this one. I wouldn't say that it's impossible that white is still shaken up from that knight drop last game. Okay, so he's defending b7 from the bishop. But those dark squares are looking pretty weak. For now, though, black might have a little bit of trouble getting his dark-squared bishop out. Right now, he's probably trying to get some activity for his rook along the f-file. Maybe try and strike later at that f2 pawn now that the king has been weakened. This was one of the consequences of playing g4. Okay, so a knight sacrifice. This is interesting. So now the dark-squared bishop is shut out. Black's dark-squared bishop is unleashed. And we might be seeing, I suppose, something along the lines of queen d6. Or this works too. I guess the rook can block. Or the queen. Or the bishop, or I don't know how well this works. Look at the clocks. Black should still have no trouble winning this. I mean, he's only down 1 point material. Okay, so there's an attack on the queen. So now the queen has to move. So he's just trying to add a little bit more defense onto the bishop, but ooh, he has dropped a knight. So now he should probably just resign. But he doesn't. He fights on, offering to I felt like taking the bishop was a good move, but maybe it wasn't. Okay, so now this really is starting to look like the end. He's looking for rook g6. So is bishop covers h2, so rook h2 isn't even an option for defense. So are they going to play another game for us? We can only hope they are. Okay, so d4 and d5. So this is, I guess, semi-Slav. I think it is territory. Queen's Gambit accepted now. So I think that there are a few moves here, like one was a4. Fianchettoing the bishop is fine too, of course. So black is up a pawn, but white can eventually push e4 and have the center pawn mass. And it's actually surprisingly hard sometimes for black to hold on to his extra pawn. See, he's even just giving it back. Now with knight takes knight takes c4 being fairly unavoidable. So now he's just trying to keep his strong knight in the center, though e4 can kick it away easily. Okay, so now he has managed to keep his strong pawn in the center. And he's both defending his rook and getting the bishop on an active diagonal. The knight is, if takes occurs, the knight will be pinned. And now if now he's threatening again to take on c4 because the b pawn is pinned to the bishop. Yep, so that defends both threats. So now there's the e4 push, and he might be going for d5 eventually. Yep, see, the bishop is there on the queen, trying to get d4 in. Or d5, I'm sorry. Excuse me. So here's the power of the bishop pair and the sacrificed pawn. That looked a little daring to me, but I don't know, maybe it's not. So now he can either take and isolate the e-pawn, or, ooh, see, this is nice. Because if bishop takes, queen takes, then he has e5. Yeah, see, now here e5, and I guess knight d5 is a defense, but yeah, now he has that, so I think that the Grandmaster should be having this one again. See, now the material is actually equal, but if you look at pawns, black's pawns are a lot harder to defend, and the bishop pair, so white has the bishop pair. So, I mean, white should have this, the Grandmaster should have this. Okay, just telling some people in the chat something. So, bishop pair versus knight pair, and the Grandmaster is also up 20 seconds, so this shouldn't be too hard to convert to a win. Knight on d3 or b3 could be kind of annoying, but yeah, he's playing there now, and if, yeah, rook takes, now knight takes, but really, there's just not a whole lot of hope here, I don't think. Okay, so I'm moving the king over to make sure he doesn't get checkmated. So now he's free to move the rook off the back rank, although he have to be a bit careful. because I don't think that he can really allow, say, bishop c5 check to happen. It looks inconvenient, so I don't think he can take the rook off of that file right now, off of the c file, because, you know, like bishop c5, and, well, I guess the knight covers that now, but maybe a bishop c5 check, bishop c6 checkmate, you know, yeah, if he didn't move the king back. So now it has a rook on the 7th. I feel like white was better off a few moves ago than he is now. But no, I don't know, probably a draw, I want to say. White has a lot better king position, so maybe not a draw, but I don't know, I think that white had a more significant advantage, but he is up several seconds still. And now the king is getting in. The rook defends for now, but can it defend forever? Okay, the king couldn't go to, can't go to g7 because of the discovered check. Okay, and the rook gets kicked away. So now, see, there's a nice tactic, because if the king takes, then just c2, and he's getting a queen. That doesn't work. Yeah, so I think that black is actually one on the board now. I mean, it's difficult, but I think that he's winning. But, well, maybe not. But, like, I want to say that he's probably winning, or at least has a draw. But it's going to come down to time, which white does still have more of. And now, yeah, white is just one on the board. So, you know, rook a6. Yep. Is the king too far away, actually? Maybe, but probably not. Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that white should have this. Although, yeah, I actually think it's a draw now. So, but it's going to be, you know, time anyway. Oh, nope, draw. Or time. Yeah, it's a draw. Okay, the result is in, and it is a draw. So, that was quite nice by black. I don't think that white should have taken the rook. So are they going to play one more for us? I don't want this video to be too long. Okay, I am not seeing... Oh, there it is. Here's the new game. So this will be the last one for the video, because I don't want it to be too long. So we have that French defense variation. Okay, so c5, c3, knight c6, knight f3. This is all standard stuff. And now, is it going to be a Miller-Berry? Miller-Berry, however you spell it? No, it will not be. There is an interesting pawn sacrifice line, so... Giving up his light-squared bishop, I don't think that's good. I like black's position already. So now I guess he's going to go for knight f5, and maybe an attack on b4. I really don't like white's position. So now does he defend with the rook or with the bishop? That c knight is also pinned for now, though yeah, it's pinned. I was thinking that maybe, you know, if the queen was defended, then he could actually still play knight to a4, because if the bishop took the knight, then the queen could take the rook. Okay, so the trick here is that if queen takes the if queen takes queen, then knight takes f3 would come first with check. So now I guess he's trading b7 for h4. like, I'd rather take h4, I think, than e5, because, you know, like, there could be stuff with rook e1 and knight takes. But the grandmaster went for it, and who am I to criticize a grandmaster? Just as a general note, though, I probably would have taken h4 instead. So now, okay, threatening checkmate, defending against checkmate, and now he can't castle because the bishop is attacked. So, and also bishop f4 is threatened. So yeah, I don't think I would have taken on e5. It feels wrong. Okay, so now he's threatening to take on g3 with check because the f-pawn is pinned. He is also maybe planning on retreating the queen to c7. He's defending his a-pawn, but I think that bishop f4 should still be pretty good here. And he goes for it. Okay, so now the queens don't get traded off. He still can't castle. The f-rook is tied down for now, but I mean, you know, bishop e3 even seems fine. Wouldn't accomplish much, I don't think, but I guess it should be noted that the that black has a passed pawn, so if this comes down to an end game, then it should be better. Okay, so you still can't castle. This is one of the dangers of the French, getting your king stuck in the center. So retreating the bishop. I think that bishop e3 wins the, well, it wins the a7 pawn, but maybe the, maybe the h4 pawn is falling, like if bishop e3, and now queen g4. Now if he takes on a7, takes on h4, and then, you know, white might even have a bishop takes g3 sacrifice, but he doesn't go for anything like that. Okay, so now maybe queen c6, just evicting the queen and letting him queen c7, same idea. Except now with an attack on the bishop, so now he could castle to try and get his other rook out, or he could play f6, get his king to f7, get the other rook out. So I think that the position is still pretty good for black. Those queenside pawns could be a little bit dangerous, and d5 isn't quite the easiest thing to advance right now, but I think that everything should be good. See, so now can't he take on d5 with the knight because the rook is threatened? So see, this is what I was talking about. Okay. But with the time advantage like this, there's not really a question as to who will win. And that's really a final nail in the coffin type deal, which I think we can check up entirely to time pressure. So that's it for this video, my first video ever. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.